Hi everybody, it's Crystal. So today I'm going to show you how to crochet this blanket here. It's very easy and it's very, very big. But of course you can make it any size that you'd like. It's folded up like four times now. This one is like 85 by like 82. So it's like pretty close to king size. But you can make it, like I said, any size that you choose. And it's very, very pretty. And it's got a little shell border there if you want to put that on there. It is the rectangle style that starts in the middle. You work it in the middle, like around and around like that. And here's the stitch. It's very easy. You're just going to be trying to get you a good looking point here. So it's similar to like the granny style stitch, except we do a drop double. It's like a drop double granny rectangle with a shell border. So I told you the size of it. Very pretty. You know, let's go ahead and talk about the yarn real quick. Okay, so this is the yarn that was used for that blanket. You can see it's 10 cakes, and it's gradient style. So it went like this, and then a black for the border that you see. So this yarn, I'm going to take this down here, is, you don't have to use this yarn. Of course you don't have to use this yarn, but in case you were wondering, is from Arena's Thread and Crafts. I love her. I love her yarn. It's so beautiful and soft. I have many things made out of it. It is classified as a fingering weight, but it's more like a 2-weight. Gradients. So that gradiates. I'm sorry. So this one right here is called, it's actually a set, her Gothic Rainbow set. Now she has individual cakes, beautiful gradient cakes, that I make things out of too, but this is a set that I bought from her, that she sells. I'll put a link to her website below. You can also find her on Etsy. But that's what this was made out of. So you don't have to use this yarn. Like I said, you can use any yarn that you want, but I know in case you were interested, this is what was used. So set that up there. We'll talk about the yardage, how much I use, and the hook size. Okay, for that particular blanket there, it took like 7,500 yards, but that is a 2-weight yarn, and it's a very big blanket. You can use, like I said, you can use any weight of yarn that you want. I'm going to be showing you with a 4-weight yarn, some scrap yarn that I have. And for that, I'm going to be using an I hook. For the 2-weight though, a G hook was used, a 4mm or a 4.25. But remember, you can use whatever yarn you want. Now, if you're using a 4-weight yarn, you can make it as big as you want it to be. But if you want it to be super humongous like mine, you're probably going to need quite a bit of yardage, probably 3,000, something like that. But of course, that's a big blanket. You want to throw size, it's going to be considerably less, maybe 1,500, something like that. You know, I'm just trying to guess because I didn't use that. But remember, use any weight of yarn that you want, and just use whatever, the hook size, just use whatever the yarn recommends for the hook. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, so this isn't hard. It's just a 2-row repeat, but we do have to do just a couple setup rows. I'll say, okay, so you want to start off with a chain of 21 stitches. 21. So once you got your chain of 21, in the 6th chain from the hook, so we're going to count, we don't count this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In that 6th chain from the hook, we're going to work 3 double crochets into that 6th chain. So there's 1, and there's 2, and there's 3. So that was 3 doubles and the 6th from our hook. Now we're going to start the repeat here of round 1. We are going to skip 2 stitches, skip, and we're going to put 3 doubles into the next. We're not going to do any chains or anything like that. We are just going to go directly, skipping 2, skip, and putting 3 doubles into the next chain there. 1, 2, and 3, and that's it. Again, we're going to skip 2, skip, skip, and in the next one 3 double crochets. And we're going to go ahead and repeat this pattern of skipping 2 and then putting 3 doubles into the next until we get to the end of the chain. There's 3, and again skip 2, skip, skip, and 3 into the next. All right, I'll meet you at the end of our chain. And this is what it starts to look like. All right, so I've made it to the end of my chain, and the last stitch should have had 3 double crochets in it. So you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sets of 3 double crochet, and then you have this chain here at the end. So we're going to continue this as a round because we're going to work on the underside of the chain. So we're going to chain 5 now. And then we are going to go back into this very last stitch here that we put these 3 doubles in, and we're going to slip stitch into it. So that chain 5 is kind of acting like this chain here. It's acting as this chain here on the end. So it looks the same. Now we're just going to be working on the bottom of the chain. So we just chain 5 and we slip stitch back into that same stitch. Now we're just going to take our work and kind of flip it over. So now we're working on the bottom side of our chain. And we are going to slip stitch into the next chain space. So right over here, we're just going to slip stitch right into it. And then we are going to chain 1. And we are going to start the repeat. Now we're going to work 3 double crochets into that chain space. So there's 1, 2, and 3, like that. I know it looks a little different, but, and then we're going to jump to the next chain space right here. 3 double crochets into the chain space. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to work 3 double crochets into every chain space. We're still on round 1 because we're working in rounds. And here and here and here, and I'll meet up with you here at this last big chain space. All right, so I'm coming here to the last chain, this big chain space at the end. Now you're going to notice that you only have 5 of these chain 3 spaces on this side. That's okay, because when we go back around, we will take care of that. So we're going to be working in this big chain space here on the end, and we're going to make the corners now that we're going to be increasing in. So we're going to go into this chain space and we're going to work 3 double crochets. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Now we're going to chain 2. 1, 2, and we're going to work at 3 double crochets again. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to chain 2. 1, 2, and we're going to go back into the space and we're going to work 3 more double crochets. Sorry about that. Like that. So what we have now is we have formed these 2 chain 2 spaces here are going to be the corners. This is where we're going to be increasing all the time. But we are not finished with this round. We have to go and fix up this side over here. So what we're going to do, we are going to go ahead and put 3 double crochets in between the sets of 3 double crochets like this until we get here to this chain space on the end. All right, so we're just going to jump right on over here, see in between, and work 3 double crochets in the space. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to jump over here in between the next set and work 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and we're going to do this 3 in each space, and I'll see you at this chain space down here. Alright, so when you make it here to this chain space, we're going to make the corners again the same way that we made them down here. So we're going to go into this chain space and we're going to work 3 double crochets. There's 1, 2, and 3, and then we're going to chain 2, so that's a corner, and we're going to go back into the same chain space and work 3 doubles. 1, 2, and 3, and then we're going to chain 2, which is the other corner, back in the space again and work 3 more doubles. 1, 2, and 3. So you can see now we have the same corner that we have on the other side. Now we're going to end round 1. We're going to end round 1 by slip stitching into our first double crochet right here. So round 1 was like a round and a half, wasn't it? A little weird, but hey, that happens sometimes, just like that. So now we got down here the chain 2 spaces on each end. Those will be our corners, and that will be where we increase. All right. So we're going to be turning our work every row from here on out until the end. All right. So we're going to chain 1 and we're going to be turning our work. So now we're on round 2. And we're going to go ahead and slip stitch back into this chain space that's right below where we just into the space. It's not really a chain space, but the space that right here. We're going to slip stitch into that. We're going to chain 1 and we're going to go and we're going to work 3 double crochets into that space. There's 1, 2, and 3, just like that. All right, now we're going to be working into this chain 2 space right here, and it's going to form a corner. So we're going to go into it, and each of the 4 corners are always worked the same. They contain 3 double crochets. There's 1, 2, and 3, and then we chain 2, and then we go back into the same chain 2 space and work 3 doubles again. 1, 2, and 3. So now we have increased that corner. Now we're going to jump over here to the next chain 2 space and do the same thing that we just did. So we're going to work 3 doubles. There's 1, 2, and 3. Chain 2, and then 3 more double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. So now we have increased that side. And now we're just going to work around. This is round 2. We're going to work by putting 3 double crochets in each of these spaces between the 3 sets of double crochet all the way down here to the end. And when you make it to the chain 2 spaces down here, we're going to do the corners, these 2 corners, the same way that we just did these 2 corners. And then we will work around on this side, working 3 double crochets in each of the chain spaces until we get back to our starting point. So now we're just kind of working around. 3 doubles in each of the spaces. And then when you get to the corners or the chain 2 spaces, they always get the same. 3 doubles, chain 2, 3 doubles. And then we work on the other side of the chain, working these 3 sets of doubles in between the 3 sets from the previous row until we get back to our starting point. I'm going to go ahead and work this. I'll meet up with you at the chain 2 spaces down here. All right, so I've made it here to the chain 2 spaces on the opposite side. So we've already increased this. We started by increasing this side. Now we're going to do the same in these 2 chain 2 spaces. So 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and 3 more doubles, 1, 2, 3, and then we jump over to the next chain 2 space right here, and we do the same. 3 doubles, chain 2, 3 doubles. And now we have the increases and the corners made for this side. And now we will continue putting 3 double crochets in each of these chain spaces until we make it back to our starting point, and that will end at round 2, and then we can begin round 3 and 4 are our repeat rows. Alright, so I've come to the end of round 2, and I'm going to end by slip stitching into my first double crochet. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're actually going to tie off the yarn. This is the only time that we're going to do this, but we're going to go ahead and clip our yarn so we can start in the correct spot. Unless you are changing colors all the time, you might have to clip. If you don't want a bunch of slip stitches, you would probably want to clip your yarn when you switch colors. And then you turn your work, because remember, we always turn our work. All right. And now we're going to start our yarn in any chain 2 space. I'll just start it in this one right here. Okay, we'll start right here where you just clipped off. Just start right here, the one that's right behind it. It's probably the best. And we're going to chain 1. And we're going to go into this. This is the corner. This is where we would normally put 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. We're actually only going to start out the round by putting 3 double crochets into it. So 1, 2, and 3. So when we start out each round, we only start out by making half of the corner, and then when we make it back around, we put the other 3 in, and then we end it. That will eliminate any slips, any slip stitching or any seams that you might have. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and start, and we're going to be working in the chain, or in this, not chain spaces, but the spaces here. And this is the row that they're here in this. From row 3 and here on out, we're going to be doing the drop double crochets where we drop down. So we're going to go into this space right here, and we're going to work 1 double crochet, and then we're going to do actually it's a drop, front post drop triple, I'm sorry. So what we're going to do is yarn over twice, and we're going to go down to this set of 3, in the middle one, go right around it and do a front post triple crochet. So it's called a drop triple because we dropped it down a row, and we're going around the post of the stitch, and we're going to do a front post triple like that, and then we're going to go back into the space again and finish it off by working 1 more double. So that way we got 3 stitches there. We put 1 double in it, and then we did the front post drop triple, and then we put another double. And this is what we're going to do in each one of these spaces until we get to our chain 2 space. So we're going to jump on over to the next one, and we're going to work 1 double, and then we have to do a front post drop triple in the middle of this group of 3. So yarn over twice, go around the post of that middle one, and then triple crochet, And then we go back into that same space and work a double crochet. Just like that. And we're going to repeat this again. Jump over here to this space. One double. Drop down to this set of 3, and in the middle one, we do a drop front post triple. And then one more double into the same space. So I'm going to continue this pattern that we've been doing all the way down, and I'll meet up with you at this chain 2 space. All right, I've made it to my corner, chain 2 space, and it's always the same, which is 3 doubles, chain 2, and 3 more doubles, and now from here on out, this is row 3, and when you repeat row 3, you'll probably, you're always going to have a spaces. Each row you'll gain more spaces, but in between your corners, and in that space you will work a double crochet, and then your drop front post triple crochet, just like you do on the sides. The bigger it gets here in between the corners, the more of these you'll have to do. There'll always be a new space there, and then a double crochet. So you took care of that spot, and now we're at the next corner. We're going to work 3 doubles, a chain 2, and 3 doubles. Just like that. And now we're going to repeat on this side what we just did on this side, which is jumping to our next space here and working a double, a drop front post triple, and then another double in that same spot. So we're just doing the same thing we did on the other side, just like that, and work that all the way down, and I'll meet back up with you when we get to our chain 2 space down here. All right, I've made it all the way around here. Here's where we first started, and I'm at this chain 2 space over here, so I'm just going to put, it's my corner, 3 double crochets. There's 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets. And then, like I said, you'll always, every round you get, you'll gain another space between your corners. So we just work this the same way we work these. 1 double, a front post drop triple down below here, and another double. And now we're coming to the end. Now remember, in the beginning we did 3 double crochets in that chain 2 space. We did half of the corner. Now we're going to go ahead and finish out that corner. We're going to put 3 more double crochets into it, which would be the other 3 of the corner. And we're going to end by putting a half double crochet into the first double. Now that half double is acting as a chain 2 space, and that ends round 3. So remember, round 3 is one of the repeat rounds. All right, and then we'll begin round 4, which is the final repeat round. So we are going to chain 1, and we will go ahead and turn our work. All right, so now we're going to be working in the opposite direction, but we always start out with working 3 double crochets into the very first chain space, because that makes half of the corner, and we'll make the other half when we get back around. Now row 4 is a row that we do not do any drop doubles on, okay? So row 3 would be the drop triples. Row 3 would be the drop triple row. In row 4, we don't do any drop triples, all right? We just do the double crochets. So we did half a corner here. Now we gotta make it over here to this corner and increase it. As you can see, we gained another space in between our corners, which I said we would, so they just get 3 doubles in each of them. Remember, this is row 4 is not a drop stitch row. When you're working on the back side of your work, the back side is where there are no drop stitches. We don't work any. We only work them when we're on the front side. And you come over here to this space and work 3 doubles. So round 4 is pretty easy. Just going to work 3 doubles in all these spaces, and in the chain 2 spaces we work what we always work, 3 doubles, chain 2 and 3 doubles. There's a corner. All right, and now we're just going to work 3 double crochets in each of the spaces between the sets of 3 doubles. Remember, row 4 has no drop stitches, only row 3. So I'm going to continue this all the way around for row 4. I'm going to work 3 double crochets in each one of my spaces, and when I get to my 2 corners over here, you have to work 3 doubles, chain 2, 3 doubles, and remember, every round you're going to gain another set where you have to put stitches in here in between the corners. And then I'm going to work all the way around back. I'll meet you back here at my starting point, okay? All right, I'm coming to the end. So remember, we did half of the corner in the beginning. We put 3 doubles there. So I'm going to go ahead and finish it out by putting 3 doubles. And ending with a half double crochet into the first double, which is acting as a chain 2. And then I would chain 1 and turn, and then we would repeat row 3. So that's what it is. It's just a repeat of rows 3 and 4. So for row 5, I'm going to repeat row 3. So I'm going to go back into this space here, which is a corner, and I'm just going to start off by putting 3 doubles in it, because we only do half a corner every time we start a row. I'm just repeating what we did on row 3. And then I'm going to jump over to the next spot, which is right here. And this is our front post triple crochet row. So we do a double into that space, and then a front post triple around in that middle stitch there below. And then we have to do another double crochet. And then when we come over here, we are going to do a double crochet. And now you'll be able to see that when we do our front post triple, you'll be doing it around the front post triple from the previous row. So they'll always stay lined up, and then another double crochet. So just going to keep repeating rows 3 and 4 until you get to your desired length. It becomes very, very easy, very, very quick, and so many color combos you can do. And like I said, you can make it as big as you'd like. Now, if you'd like to put a border on it, so we're doing row 3 now, and then I would just, turn my work, repeat row 4, then back, rows 3 and 4, 3 and 4, until you get it as big as you'd like it to be. All right, but you do want to end on a row 3 repeat. You want to end where you just did post stitches. Okay. All right. If you want to put a border on, this is what I did. You don't have to, but don't chain your work. You want to make sure that your posts are facing up once you've got it as big as you want it to be. Get whatever color you want to use for your border, and you can start in any one of the chain 2 spaces. And we will start off by chaining 1, and in the corners it's always going to, the 4 corners will be the same. They're going to get 7 double crochets. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So that's what the 4 corners get. And then we're going to put a single crochet into the space right here where you would normally put 3 doubles. We're going to put a single crochet into that space, and then the front post triple the stitch, we're going to put 5 double crochets into that front post triple stitch, the top of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we're going to repeat that. So we are going to single crochet into that space here, single crochet into it, and then 5 doubles into the front post triple stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and repeat. Single crochet into this next space, and 5 doubles into the next front post triple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You want to do this all the way until you get to your next chain 2 space. Single crochet into the next space, and then my chain 2 spaces here, so it gets 7 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we're going to start with a single crochet and the 5 double crochets again. So we single crochet in that next space like that, and 5 doubles on top of the next front post stitch. And we're just going to repeat this all the way around. This is simple shell border. You don't have to use it if you don't want to. You can leave a border off or do a different border, but you know, I'm just going to repeat. You just repeat that all the way around. That's what it starts to look like. And when you make it back to the beginning, you would just slip stitch into your first double crochet of your first shell, and that is how that is made. So after a while it starts to look like this. I like it. I think it's very, very pretty. And the color combinations, like I said, that you could use are endless. So I hope that you enjoyed my tutorial. Please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And if you make this, I'd like to see a picture. See what kind of yarn you used, what colors you used, what border you used. You can post a picture on my Bagoday Crochet Facebook. There's a link to that below in the description box. Also, if you could hit that like button, maybe leave me a comment below. That always helps me out. And until next time, see you guys later. Bye, guys.